and welcome to what could be the last podcast episode of the year. It's Eric, Tuesday, December 17th, about 2:30 or so, before we have our guests on. As often, repeat guests, although the one guest who's been here before brought a guest. This will all make sense shortly. A couple of things to grab onto first. I will turn on my I will come out of my sports talk retirement to throw these things at you. How many players are on a football field, on a team, on any given play? There should be 11. I believe it's 10 players for the Lions who are either on their defense, who are either out for the season or currently unable to play. They could field nearly an entire defense of injured players. I hope those injuries do not derail their potential Super Bowl season. Things got a bit hairier. Not a real surprise that they lost to a really good football team. Josh Allen, Mr. Haley Steinfeld, over the weekend, because that's a darn good football team. That could be a Super Bowl preview. So not a surprise there, but they're now 12-2. As of last night, the Minnesota Vikings in their division are 12-2, and after Sunday's win, the Eagles are now 12-2. I will try not to get too sportsy here, but the Eagles will not hold any tiebreakers to get the number one seed, and the number one seed is a big deal because you get a bye. While the other 6 teams are playing, and 3 of those will be eliminated, you get to sit and wait and watch, and you'll get to play the worst of the teams remaining. So the Eagles won't really be much of a problem unless they wind up with the best record. They'll get the bye. The Lions could obviously use that bye to get some of these players, most importantly, Aiden Hutchinson, rested up. So it'd be great if they could secure that bye, and it all might come down to the final game of the season when they play the Vikings. And I think I might have mentioned before some basic NFL knowledge. If they don't win the division, where they will likely get that bye, they will likely slip to the number 5 seed. So not only will they not get a week off, not only will they not get a home game, they'll have to go on the road and play someone else. So we'll see how the Lions finish out this season. 2 more quick sports things. Former Rocket and current Philadelphia Eagle, Quinyon Mitchell, is the current betting favorite as NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. So that's a big deal. Down 75 a little bit. That would be a nice honor for Mitchell, and I'm still super excited to have him going from being a Rocket to an Eagle. I would be very excited if the Philadelphia Eagles doubled up in Northwest Ohio with a high draft pick in the upcoming draft and took Harold Fannin Jr. I believe he had quite an upbringing. Some challenges that I should do more reading on. I know he's an Ohio kid. It's either Akron or Canton, somewhere in that part of the state. He was having a historic season. He is a tight end, I guess slightly undersized for a tight end, but he led the nation in all kinds of receiving this year. He is the first team All-American for the Falcons in what amounts to about 35 seasons. Back in 1990, I believe it was the Falcon punter who made first team All-American. Harold Fannin Jr. is the first to do that again since 1990. So when you're looking at the best players in college football, the kid that won the Heisman from Colorado and the whole first team, it's littered with schools of college football powerhouses, Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee. And then there's a kid from Bowling Green. I'd like to see the Eagles draft him next year. It looks like at long last, there will not be a sheet in the planned spot of Airport in Bernath in my neck of the woods. The Planning and Development Committee or Commission last week did not recommend it. It goes to council tomorrow where it will likely be shot down. One of the council members did say, I don't know why they just don't take over the Friday spot across the street because Fridays is not open. If it comes to that, I believe there will still be pushback, but maybe not as much pushback from the other side of Bernath Parkway. There are more people on my side, and there are younger people though who might be more accepting of it and welcoming of it. But again, there's more people, so there could still be a high amount of pushback. Again, great place, Sheets, good place, great place, wrong location. Not a wrong location for them because they just opened another one in North Baltimore. Like Raising Cane's just opened on Monroe, and now we have the Monroe Street Chicken Wars because Famous Dave's Chicken, Hot Dave's Chicken, Dave's Chicken is right down the road from there. Not even a mile away outside of Target in the old Core Life spot. Another grand opening, 2 more grand openings actually. On McCord coming up Thursday, Pizza Cat opens a second location. Hard to believe that place has been as successful with their delicious, zany specialty pizzas with a lot of local regional names for so many years now. 7 years that they're only now opening their second location on McCord. It's been a minute since I've had them, and I am going through some pizza issues now as I am transitioning to a new place. I've got to tell my old place that it's the quality of the bread is not what it was. Everything is fine except the bread, and bread, as you might imagine, is a big deal because it's the crust that holds everything together on a pizza. Toledo Pickle has set their grand opening. You know, I don't make promises. I love learning the line. Promises can be prisons. In this case, I'll kind of break my promise to myself about promises, but I think Toledo Pickle will be one of, if not your very favorite place to hang out once it opens. Grand opening January 21st. Food, drinks. They'll be benefiting Tutor Smart, which helps kids free after-school tutoring, elementary and middle school. They will have the rock wall ready to go. There will be pickleball professionals there to teach you how to play pickleball. And even if you don't play or don't like pickleball, this will be a playland for all ages once it's up and running, especially as spring hits. Tickets for that are $100, raising money for that cause. While I was off, I read about something back home, and I yank a lot of ideas from there and go, we could do this here. Some of them we're already into. We're very good at bar crawls here. I think, in fact, we have a Santa crawl for Christmas in July downtown. But how about a hot chocolate bar crawl? I know a bunch of places, the holiday night market at the Fifth Third building, I believe they did a free hot chocolate, complimentary hot chocolate bar. But no hot chocolate bar crawls. We're all the participating places, you guessed it, offer their variation on alcoholic and non-alcoholic hot chocolate. Although I did just see that Brewhouse downtown, which does serve alcohol, they're doing hot chocolate flights. Probably too late for the hot chocolate bar crawl, but maybe next year. We'll, I guess, wrap up the year with a great guest. My friend Lori Ballo, who I met a couple of years ago hosting a podcast with the Ability Center, and she's brought a guest along because they have been loaded up with events, their marquee event, the Community Film Fest, but what they do, who they served, how you might want to get involved. Now with Lori and Nabil. Are you guys ready?
As ready as we're going to be.
Doing?
We're here to talk about Lucas County Department of Developmental Disabilities.
Sweet.
And Lori dressing like a Christmas tree. Although,
yes.
Can you introduce my friend Lori Ballo from Lucas County Department of Developmental Disabilities? God, we need an acronym.
I know we do.
Can you introduce the guest you have brought to talk about things?
I have brought Nabil Shaheen. He is our outreach community person who does all of our PR stuff and is the man behind the mystery. I didn't know there was a mystery. There is a mystery.
Great question, Eric.
Because he helps me be spectacular.
Okay. And so I thought you were outreach. What are you?
I'm inclusion. So he's outreach. I'm inclusion.
May I share? Nabil, great to meet you. Thanks for taking some time.
Likewise. Thank you for having me here.
Lori's become a good contact, a good friend since we met a couple of years ago through the Ability Center. And now every year we do Community Film Fest together.
Yes.
Well, I help out with that.
Yes, you do.
May I share a strange story with you quickly?
Yeah.
I got an email from a Kelly, I forget her last name, at the Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. She had reached out to me inquiring about my participation, and I replied back. I thought maybe she wanted me to host or be involved in that way. Easy with all my contact points within the disability community for somebody to say, "Hey, Eric will help you out." Long story short, she was under the impression I wanted to be an athlete.
Oh,
someone submitted me and my personal cell phone number and all of my information here at work to be an athlete. It was strange. I don't know who felt more awkward, her or myself.
poor Kelly.
Do you know Kelly?
I do know Kelly. Kelly's one of my staff people.
Tell her that I'm as perplexed as she was getting the inquiry when she said something to the effect of like, I said, what do I have to do? Thinking maybe she wanted me to host or she wanted to come visit the podcast. She was like, just need to go to the doctor and get a physical. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, they want you to be an athlete for sure.
I would love to know how something like that happened. Somebody filled out an inquiry box the wrong way.
Filled it out on your behalf to have you be an athlete.
I'm happy to help out. Tell Kelly I'll help in any other way.
Yes.
I am not a person that should be in the Special Olympics in that regard, though.
But we do have unified sports.
What's that?
So
work together?
We work together with the non-disabled population. So we do like flag football, basketball, bocce. We did cornhole. So things like that we do with the University of Toledo and Lourdes College.
I'll do that stuff.
All right.
I'll tell Kelly I'm happy to help out in that regard.
Yeah.
Can we look backwards? The reason I wanted you to come in when our schedules could sync up was you have all these things going on from like mid-fall through winter. Can we recap a couple of them and then we'll go all the way forward to next year's Community Film Fest?
So, yeah, we did the Community Film Fest in August.
Wait, no, we'll come back to that.
Oh, we're going back. Okay, where am I going?
Do the fall things, because there's still probably fall things. You had a couple of fall things and winter events.
Yeah, we did our transition fair in November, which is for children 14 to 22 who are going to be graduating from school. So that gives a lot of opportunity of when parents, what do you do after graduation? Guardianship starts at 18. So a lot of parents don't realize that when your child turns 18, they are their own guardian. So we have the guardianship board there to talk about guardianship. We have things called stable accounts, which is if you're on benefits, you can earn more money, a bigger savings account, so you don't get your benefits taken away. And then we also had our schools there to talk about graduation requirements. The state has come down on the schools to say you have to have 3 seals, just like everyone else, to graduate. You just can't let these guys sit in a classroom and not be educated anymore. Mm-hmm. So that is a great, amazing thing that the schools are doing.
Is the transition fair, is it the first time you've done that, or you've done it in the past?
That was our second time that we've done it. And it's a lot of information. We get the University of Toledo for their T2 program. We have opportunities for Ohioans with disabilities to come in. They help people find jobs. The board is there. Our programs are showcased there, as well as like Bowling Green University and their transition schooling is there as well, and some other little types of, like Tarda will show up to how to ride a bus and things like that.
And I'm guessing something that you'll continue to do, look forward to next fall sometime.
It is very popular, and it's very educational for our parents, because where do you go from here?
Sure.
My child's graduating. We're a senior this year. What's the next step?
You've had some other fall, winter holiday events recently. What were those?
We had our Snowy Social. That was last week with our early intervention program. So it is a program for 6 and under, and it's just basically looking at motor skills, social skills, interactive play, and of course we had Bluey there. The Christmas tree was there. Santa was there. They were making cookies, decorating cookies. Metro Parks came with a really cool like fishing type of play area. So it was really fun, and it's great to see the kids and just the parents in a relaxing environment where you're not being evaluated. And it was for all ages and all abilities, so 6 and under and all abilities. You did not have to be eligible for our services to join. It was just a great community event. It's
December 17th as we record this right now. Anything coming up before the end of the year or early into 25?
So 25, we already started with a lot of community inclusion things, which I run. We're having a community movie day at the Maumee Indoor February 22nd. That's from 1 to 4. We're showing Inside Out, because it kind of shows about how emotions are and sometimes how someone's feeling and thinking, which kind of connect to a lot of our individuals as well. And it's a free event for everyone who wants to come. And then March 13th, we have a dance that we host for our individuals at St. Clement's Hall. And that's from like 7 to 9. And it's just a fun way to get together with a DJ and concession stands and a lot of dancing. And our individuals love to do that community stuff.
Nabil, did I have Lori steal all your thunder for all these great events that I'm sure you're a big part of?
I'm a big part of, I am, as I like to say, literally just the messenger. So Lori and her team help put on great events like this, or like the early intervention program that she was alluding to earlier. And then it is just about presenting them to the community. Part of 2025 will be our March is a big month for us as DD Awareness Month. And so we'll have a variety of programming. One of them locked in for sure is March 15th will be Autism Awareness Night at the Detroit Pistons, a partnership that we hooked up with them last year. Individual that works for the Pistons there has a relative that we serve here at the board and kind of just wanted to do something to honor his cousin and hooked up with us to, have it be a fundraiser, ticket sales, and we get a certain percentage of it back to our fans network, which is under Lori's wheelhouse. But it's really awesome events. What I like about a lot of the things that Lori and her team work on is community events. And so it's very important for us that more typical individuals get connected with, individuals that we serve to really realize that we are one and the same with the same joys and the same hobbies and the same goals and the same, things that we want to do. So particularly like that Snowy Social a couple weeks ago, or last week, obviously childhood is a perfect age for that because kids are a lot brighter than we are of just connecting with other people that have similar likes and wants. So
when you're out places in the community, how long have you been with Department of Developmental Disabilities?
3 years now.
Okay. How'd you first get involved?
Just what seemed like a really great opportunity. There was a job opening there, and I come from a communications background, and really it was just seemed like a really awesome place to, again, as a communications background, tell cool stories and write about amazing people. And it has just been a really great experience ever since. And you really grow, a certain level of attachment to the individuals we serve, right? Like they become, part of your family or part of, like just seeing an old friend when you get to see them and interact with them. So
was that your first hop into the pool within the disability community?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, totally my first exposure of any kind, really.
Mine was just a couple of years ago as well with the Ability Center. And I've got kind of like one bedrock thing that I tell people that I learned from that experience. I met with a woman who had lost an arm and a shoulder to cancer and happy, bubbly. And she said, I do the same thing as everybody else. I just do it a little differently. What's something that you learned when you hopped into the disability community as a first timer?
I think kind of what you just alluded to there. They really are just like you and I. And I think, just over the years, just from, not letdowns, disappointments on how we have handled them as, government agencies, as providers, as whatever over the years, and just in pop culture and, just growing up, I'm sure you can imagine certain scenarios, and same for me. And then, but it's just like anything else. Once you humanize that person and sit down and get to have a conversation with them, you do realize they are just like you and I, but doing it moving just a little bit differently, thinking just a little bit differently, interacting just a little bit differently. And it's a really great and rewarding privilege to play a very small role in telling that story of who that person is and the amazing work that folks like Lori and her team and, all 300 plus of us at the Board of DD, the work that we're doing to better the lives of those individuals. When
you're out in the community, in whatever the capacity, probably a lot of tabling events, obviously, community events as well, yep. And somebody is they're unfamiliar with the Board of DD. What's your couple lines, your elevator pitch to them? Laura, you want to do that one?
Want me to do this one? So we kind of talk about we serve from death or life to death. So someone comes to our earlier intervention program, they're going to learn, motor skills, speech, language, physical. Once they graduate from that program, they start going to school. If there's more of a need, we have a service and support department, and they handle, again, from birth to death. And those are the people that are writing plans, ensuring health and safety, making sure the individual is being connected to the right community areas, which means it might be referral to my area. We have provider support. So there's like 400 plus providers in Lucas County alone. So you need a department that's going to kind of handle questions, help with recertifications, help making sure that the providers are following the rules that the state give us. And we also have, just your regular old finance, HR, admin areas. We have an investigation area because, we have to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure everyone's following the rules that the state gives us. And then we have community inclusion, which is my area, and we're considered the fun department out of the whole entire board because we get to do all those fun activities like Special Olympics that you talked about, advocacy, things like that.
Are there parents or individuals who they might not believe that you would serve them, but you actually do? I think anyone listening now can think off the top of the head who you might serve. Those who might be missing a limb, intellectual disabilities, autism, whatever it might be. Are there others that you serve that people might not think about, but you actually do?
So this exact example is part of what constantly drives me, is how can we better promote who we are? How can that frustrated parent immediately think of us first? And so I think of this individual we featured earlier this summer. This individual, her whole life was born with cerebral palsy, her whole life, and her whole life has been just her parents being told, check out this organization, check out that organization, check out that organization. Nobody ever mentioned, check out your county board of DD. And she was well into adulthood by the time somebody said, hey, check out the board of DD. And it just unlocked a whole new world of opportunities and things that she wanted to do that she had never been able to do, particularly after her parents passed. And now she has, a place she can lean on to help push her to exactly the goal that type of life that she wants to live.
There was a story that was reviewed a couple of days ago in the news. A younger fellow, 20-something, maybe 30-something. You know where I'm going with this?
I think I know what you're saying.
Guy in the motorcycle accident lost his foot. Is that one?
Oh, no.
Yeah, terrible accident. I think it was a reckless driver, and this man lost his foot or his leg, and whether it was 13 or TOL had caught up with him to see how life was for him now. A lot of people who you probably serve are not born with disabilities, but they become, everybody is one terrible accident away from a disability. Those people should probably not hesitate to reach out to you as well. And I'm sure you can help them navigate through the mental aspect of them being different from what they were just 2 days ago.
So the board has eligibility requirements, and you have to have your eligibility has to be before age 22. So if you have something that happens, let's say you're 26 years old and you have a traumatic brain injury, which is something that the board does support. However, if it's after age 22, there's no proof from a doctor that you've had it before then, we can't offer services. But there's a lot of programs that I offer that you don't have to be board eligible. So Special Olympics is one of those. Our advocacy program is one of those. If someone needs to learn to ride a bus, and we will offer support to the community in that form. But you don't have to be eligible for board for many of my programs that I run. Good
to know. What are some of the other agencies, and we have a thriving disability community here, from Sunshine Communities to the Ability Center. What is it like when you send people to other places that I'm sure you work closely with, or ones that I'm unfamiliar with that should be on my radar that I could potentially pass along so that everyone has what they need to live a prosperous life?
So Sight Center is a big partner. They're actually in our complex. Area Office of Aging is another area that we kind of work closely with. And then you have the Autism Society. You have Avenues for Autism. There's a whole bunch of other smaller little areas. So someone comes to our services and they're not eligible. But they have autism, but they're in the higher functioning level. So we have autism networks that we can refer them to help and partner with them. On here, we've got somebody that needs more support. They're not eligible for our services, but can you offer what we can't? So that's kind of the way of the partnership that we really work with.
This time of year, we've probably gotten quite familiar with a sensory-friendly Santa. And a lot of places are doing more regular sensory-friendly shopping for individuals. We seem to have checked that box for mostly kids, I believe, with autism, maybe some young adults. Where would a next step in welcoming individuals who might have a form of disability, where would you like to see us check the next box at beyond sensory-friendly things? The Beal?
So I think for all of us, that is always the thought, right? What is, now that we have awareness, now that we are aware of what their needs are or what we can do differently, how can we move into accepting these individuals, accepting this as just a normal frame of reference for anybody? And I think, we're constantly, accessibility, transportation,
I'm thinking universal changing stations around every public area. So I know Imagination Station has one. I believe the Glass City Center has one as well. But having those areas where people can go when they're in a wheelchair and they need support in a bigger bathroom. A handicapped stall is not going to help someone who's in a wheelchair that needs more special assistance for universal changing.
What are some places, you mentioned Imagination Station, that come to mind that are really good when it comes to being disability friendly?
The Toulouse Museum of Art. Katie is amazing there. She has been a very big advocate and very supportive to our programs as well. So that's one I can think of off the top of my head.
I would mention the Walleye and the Mud Hens as far as employing our individuals, as far as Lori just mentioned the adult changing tables. We currently have a grant program for any area business, and the Mud Hens have signed on to or applied for a grant to install that in their arena. So that's another great community partner for us.
To that regard, tell me about the Workplace Sustainability Program.
This was a program that we started a couple years ago, mid-COVID and post-COVID, just the work shortage. A lot of these providers were really, up a hill, if we're being honest, from attracting talent to funding for the services they need, to overtime pay for DSPs. So we, through a grant, were able to provide funding that is on a monthly basis. You can submit, whatever in 3 or 4 certain categories where we provide just actual financial help, putting that money back to the provider and them giving it directly. Certainly, there are stipulations where we're following that money to make sure it gets in the hands that it should be going to. But that has been a great program, and we have heard, from quite a few providers that it was, without this grant, they would not exist today. So
talk about back in 2021 or so when we began to slowly emerge from COVID, and you didn't know if that was a place of business or it was actually called now hiring because there were so many of those signs. Can you talk a little bit about hiring those with disability might not be as cost prohibitive as an employer might think, right?
Yes, that is correct. But I believe Lori will be a far wiser expert on this matter.
I'm going to cough again.
It's fine. We're real life here.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. If you hear, hey, I'm looking for individuals. I'm open to hiring anybody. But boy, to have X, Y, or Z person with this disability, I can't afford the $10,000 in upgrades.
So basically, ADA requirements are saying, if it's depending on how many employees you have and what the business is doing is what you need to do for the ADA requirements. However, there's a lot of tax benefits in hiring someone with a developmental disability. So when hiring somebody, you can get some tax benefits from the government hiring this person, because the idea is for them to sustain life. So you can't sustain life on Social Security alone. You can't do fun things on Social Security alone. You have to pay your rent, you got to get food, you have to do the basic life. So going to work for somebody is giving them that extra opportunity to get extra transportation, buy clothes that they want, go to a concert, things that they really want to do that's involved in the community. So hiring someone with a disability, it's not a crutch. It is, you are actually hiring somebody that's going to be there on time, that's going to do their work, that's probably going to make sure all their coworkers are doing what they're supposed to do, and, give their 100% every time they walk into the door.
And to make those accommodations, it's not nearly as cost prohibitive as you might think, right? No. It sounds like there's some money available within the work sustainability program, right?
Yep, absolutely.
What's a DSP? I heard you throw that out, Nabil.
That is a direct support professional. So that is providing direct care to an individual, and that they are employed by one of our providers, and then working directly with the individuals, whether that's, taking care of their meds, whether that's, taking them to the movies or the mall or, any of their day-to-day activities. But they are, we're all doing the Lord's work, but they are doing the Lord's work,
right?
In providing support for these individuals and direct care for these individuals.
If someone is looking to be a DSP or is looking for a DSP, plenty of information on the website, I'm guessing. lucasdd.org/DSP. Actually, if you're interested in becoming a DSP, you can apply there, and we have a list of all the providers that you can choose of who to apply with, and you can see there a list of all the providers that we work with throughout the county. When I was peeking around the website, it looks like not that no one wants to work there, but it looks like you have quite a few openings if you're looking for employment as well.
Yes.
Any that jump out at you, Lori?
Service and support specialists, we're always looking for them. They are the case managers. They're the ones that are day-to-day contact with individuals, making sure the providers are doing what they're supposed to do, running those plans. That's about all I can think of that we have.
Physical therapist, $80,000. It's a good job.
Early intervention specialists too. Those are our EI folks that work with the littles. there's always openings for there as well.
If there's not anything super big, I know we covered a couple of things leading up to Community Film Fest that you want to hit. Let's talk about Community Film Fest.
Yes,
Here we
it's
go.
my favorite.
Here we go.
So we just did our 10-year film festival this year. We had about 15 films, and it's just 2 to 5 minute films, amateur video of our individuals creating documentaries, a movie, music videos of what they feel important to them, and including themselves in everyday life. And what does that look like? It's a great educational piece for people to come out to say, this person is living on their own. This is how they got there. This is how they get through, their daily life, their routine. So it's a lot of fun just to make the videos and sitting down with an individual and writing a script and saying, this is what I want to do. We're always looking for help. I'm not a videographer on my little iPhone, so we always ask people, if you have the equipment and the time and you want to sit down, we will help you help us.
I think some of my friends at Film Toledo give a hand to that as well,
yes,
correct?
Yes, they do, yep.
Do you have a date picked out for the August event yet?
Yes, we do. I believe it's August 18th.
Okay. If people want to get involved, submit. When is that deadline, if you know off the top of your head?
It'll be May 31st to submit the deadlines, and it's to my email.
Excellent.
And it's on community.org is our...
Way off. Communityfilmfest.org.
Communityfilmfest.org.
You got community, though, and .org.
I know.
So we're close.
We can wrap up with that. What are the best ways to get in touch with either of you or the board of DD? You're both looking at each other. Nabil, you go. You're the first timer.
Me. LucasDD.org is our website. We are on most social media channels. We just launched a TikTok channel this year. We're very excited about that. But Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We have a YouTube channel. Any of those avenues are you can look for us and find us there. And of course, our headquarters in South Toledo, not far from the Cumulus compound here, so you can also stop by anytime there.
Nabil, good to meet you. Lori, great to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, sir.